looking at the Dodgers situation, how hard is that to be so close? Are you able to kind of move on, or you still have to kind of take a little time to let that pass?
It always takes time to have a season kind of end, because if you're not, for instance, Boston this year, everything comes to a crash. So no matter what happens at the end of the season, if you're not the guy standing, then it's a crash. And to be that close is tough, but really proud of that team. Really put a bunch of guys together coming from different organizations, and felt like that they got after it pretty good for me. They played hard. It was a different group. It was more like an NBA team than a baseball team. They were crazy, but but it's different for me, because I really have always believed in. It's a lot different than the Yankees, because out there beards are okay, everything's okay within that organization. So it's a little different, but only thing I've always cared about is if guys play hard. And I don't care about what's going on. As long as they're there on time and they play hard, I like that. And that group played hard, and so I enjoyed that team. It was a lot of fun.
Could anything have been done differently? What you've done now, looking back on this year? I mean, obviously you had that slow start. Everybody was looking for your head, and then all of a sudden now you're a gem and a jewel and a brilliant guy. Did you waver? I mean, were you ever nervous that maybe this wasn't going to work out for you, or?
I wasn't nervous, but I'm realistic. I've been around the game long enough to know that usually the players don't get rid of all of them. They usually get rid of one guy and try to make a change. So, and we weren't playing well. I knew we had a number of guys hurt. I think we had 20-something guys on the DL this year. So I had a lot of my best players hurt, and I knew if we could get everybody healthy, that we were going to be pretty good. And so trying to do that was a battle. But it's just I feel like just a test of perseverance and things that you believe in. You believe in working hard. You continue to do that. You believe in just what your beliefs of the game. My guys are working hard, and they're playing hard, and we're doing everything we can, and continue to do that every day. I got to believe that's going to be enough if you have the talent. And that's what it was a good feeling this year, to be able to persevere through that. To go through tough times and be able to hold your head and say, you know what, I know where we're going, and stay with that. And then we got there, and so that was a great thing.
Kershaw, how good?
Oh, he's unbelievable. He
One of
is
the best lefties you've seen, or?
Yes, no doubt. This kid is everything that you would want. He did everything that you would want for a manager. This guy has got great stuff, great makeup. He is a worker. He's a competitor in every area, from fielding to bunting to hitting to just his workouts. This guy comes in, if he pitches 9 innings or 8 innings the next day in a weight room, he is fanatical. He's just blowing it out the next day. He's right back on the next. That starts over. He goes on to the next one, and he's unbelievable.
This year, you had Yasiel Puig come up. How did you manage him? And then, the situation with the guys in Arizona jumping in the pool. I know you're an old school guy. How did you deal with that, right afterwards, and then, as time went on?
Well, Puig, that takes a while. Yasiel's fun. He's a fun guy. He's a definite challenge. He's different than anyone that I've been around in the game. His talent level is off the charts. This guy could do things that other guys just can't do. And he plays like a kid, really like a 9-year-old playing Little League. Now, I mean it in a good way, because if he strikes out, he comes back you see kids come back, they're ready to cry, and he gets a hit, it's like, God, it's the best day of his life. And he plays like that every day, and he had all this energy. But, then he just kind of, he plays out of control to a point where you're like, okay, you got to quit doing that, Quit trying to steal third with 2 outs and hand me up. Don't try to steal third with hand me up. And he does it like 3 times in a row, and you're like, okay, either he's not very smart or he just doesn't want to listen, right? But so he's a challenge, and so he makes it tough, But I think he's really smart, and I think he's just wild. It really is. He's just plays wild, and that's the one thing we got to try to help bring it back. The Arizona thing, I didn't know really what happened, because you win, and you clinch. I was just so excited for our club, because we'd been a tough year from the standpoint of being really way down. We come and then we get close to clinching, and we're struggling. We get a bunch of guys hurt again late in the year, and so we're struggling to win. I just wanted to get that over with, right? I didn't want to go to San Francisco because those guys were playing good, and have this thing kind of start inching away. I wanted to be able to rest guys and give guys a couple of days off here and there. So I didn't know what happened with the pool thing, and I wasn't that really concerned about it, honestly, because that stuff is it's not like there was a plan. You know what I mean? It wasn't like our guys went, hey, we're going to screw with Arizona, we're going to jump in the pool. It's just like guys were celebrating, and nowadays they don't stay in the locker room. They go back out on the field for some reason. And they end up doing that, right? So it's something I think just happened. It wasn't intentional. So it didn't really bother me because I think it was spontaneous.